This video is disseminated by Rocket Doctor AI.
Welcome back to Stock Therapy with Penny Queen. Today I have Dr. Bill Cherniak, CEO of Rocket Doctor. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You have had so many big good news releases lately, and I just want to catch up and see where everything is, where everything stands with your total in-network lives count. How are things going?
Yeah, it's going good. We've got a bunch of new contracts and added millions of new lives that we're now in network with. So yeah, it's super exciting at the moment.
So I'm trying to catch up on the actual number because I know you were at 13 million. You had a news release come out. You were at 15. And then a couple of weeks later, there was another one that was over 2 million. And I know there's flux, the other contracts that you have. So where does the total in-network lives stand now?
Yeah, so as we've gone through the data on the total number of folks enrolled into the various programs that we're now in network with and all the new plans as well, we find ourselves actually at just about 19 million patients that we're in network with.
That is such a big climb, and it's truly impressive. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some of the changes, the recent changes that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, first, just to emphasize, the reason that all these plans are contracting with us, obviously multifaceted, but we've shown consistently time and again that we're able, through this integrated model of care that we have, and also screening patients for appropriateness for virtual care, match them to the right doctor, that something like 97% of patients consistently are managed virtually and don't need an in-person visit. So it's a no-brainer for plans when you approach them with that data to see how much money they can save by avoiding unnecessary acute care visits that are exponentially more expensive than an outpatient, telehealth visit. Not to mention the fact, of course, that the care is better and patients are happier and they don't sit in an ER all day. So it just makes sense from that perspective. And then from the team, we've just heard also that we've added two really great technical leaders. So Dr. Anikia Nelson is a pediatrician who trained at Duke and MIT, and she joined our team as the director of product. She's based out of Atlanta. And then Bilal Malik just joined our team as our new director of engineering. So he has over a decade of experience in software engineering, including in AI and agentic agents. And he trained at NYU with a master's in computer science, but is based in Toronto, so has experience on both sides of the border. And so he's come on as our director of engineering. So great team coming together.
All right, so I saw a news release and it looks like you had about $2 million in warrants exercise. That's always nice, a bigger war chest, but also that your existing shareholders are seeing progress and feeling safe to exercise those and take a larger position in the company.
Exactly, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of uncertainty in the market in general, and it's great for me to see actual execution consistently coming out of the Rocket Doctor team. All right, so where we stand right now on the US side is California, Maryland, and New York. So those are some very large, complex healthcare systems. And I just want you to know that it is not going unnoticed that you keep making wins in these states.
I think part of it also is many companies and groups sort of go for this shotgun approach of like spray and pray all 50 states. We're going to get a network everywhere. We're going to blast through it, but healthcare is really complicated and very regionally specific, and government-funded health insurance, which is what we tackle, is even more complicated and heavily regulated and all sorts of stuff. So we've made that intentional decision to go really deep into the very large complex markets that we're in, and really try to push forward for big sectors of those states, build really strong foundational experience. And of course, that will, help us in the future. But we're continuing with that thesis at the moment.
I mean, it seems like a natural place for Rocket Doctor, giving all the experience in the Canadian side. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think about 50% or so of Americans are covered by some form of government healthcare, whether it be Medicaid, Medicare, Veterans Affairs, all the way across.
And it lines up as well, like my training at Hopkins and working on the East Coast clinically in South Baltimore when we think about Maryland, and then going to teach at University of Southern California and being licensed clinically in California, New York, and Maryland. It all kind of lines up for gophering what we know really well also.
So your new director of engineering, Bilal Malik, can you give me a little more history there? I know he has a history working in AI.
Yeah. So we went through a very competitive process to hire our director of engineering. We had over 100 applications actually for the role, from some really great people with really great backgrounds and experiences. And we wanted somebody who not only was still in the trenches, so to speak, coding themselves and familiar with engineering, but also was a seasoned manager of engineers and leader, and also had experience in artificial intelligence and specifically agentic agents. And so you can sort of think about looking at our press releases and other, public statements about what kind of stuff we're working on around AI and appropriateness for virtual care and automating systems, and where we're headed with Bilal joining our team as well.
All right. What can investors look forward to in the next 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, these in-network contracts are a critical milestone that, many companies will never get, but ultimately when you win them, you then have to use them. And so more of the same, basically building out our growth marketing funnel to further bring on more and more folks into the ecosystem is what we're up to with patients and providers.
All right. I've really appreciated seeing all of this very consistent execution. So thank you so very much. And until next time, thank you for joining me.